having you today on your program, The Gallery. My name is Mercy Alexander, and today we have a senator in the house from Imo State. His name is Benjamin Chukwuemeka. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
Our guest for this week is Senator Ben Uwajumogu. Right Honorable Senator Ben Uwajumogu was born into the family of Uwajumogu from Okigwe in Imo State. He is the first child out of 10 siblings. He was a think tank for several boards of both private and public sectors. Amongst them is the Nigeria Shippers Council of the federal government. He began his political career at the age of 25 when he was appointed the pioneer chairman of the then winning party, the Social Democratic Party (SDP), for Ite Uboma local government era in the early 1990s. He was also appointed the zonal chairman for the party for Okigwe Zone and further served as a member of the Southeast Coordinating Committee for OPE 93. Which won the June 12, 1993 presidential election with MKO Abiola as our candidate. He is the Speaker House of Assembly in Imo State.
My name is Senator Ben Uwajumogu. I represent the good people of Imo North in the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I grew up in the southeast just before the Nigerian Civil War. Grew up in Umuahia, which is the current capital of Abia State. Yeah. Did my primary school, secondary school within the southeast. I traveled to Paris, France for my university education, which I continued in the United States of America and graduated in 1986. Came back to Nigeria to join my family business. Eventually, I found myself in politics in 1990 when I became the party chairman of the Social Democratic Party in 1990, the defunct Social Democratic Party. In 1992, I became the state vice chairman in Imo State, then the old Imo State. That was before the creation of Abia State. Eventually, after the Babangida transition was truncated, all these political parties were banned, and we now moved on to the Abacha transition, which I did not participate in. However, in 2003, I joined the PDP. For election in 2003 for the Federal House, and in 2011 I was elected into the House of Assembly, and I became Speaker of my state House of Assembly in Imo State, and eventually elected into the Senate, where I'm currently serving, representing Imo North in the Senate.
Yeah, you've almost answered all the questions that I needed to ask you, sir. But anyway, what gave you that boldness to go into politics at a young age, knowing fully well in Nigeria, some people say politics is a very deadly game to play?
Well, I come from a family that had embraced politics from day one. My father was a politician as well as a businessman. He was one of the major pillars of the Nigerian People's Party, the NPP, that supported Nnamdi Azikiwe, and of course that produced the great Sam Mbakwe of Imo State. He worked with him, and he was chairman of, vice chairman of the party in the state at the time, and of course a major financier of NPP. Well, I would say that one of the most, one thing that was quite outstanding was in 1979, during the presidential campaign for Nnamdi Azikiwe, the late Zik of Africa, when he was running for the presidency. came to Imo State on campaign, and I had to spend the night in my family house. And then I think I was 40 years old.
At that time.
That's when I met him. We had at the family meeting when everybody made sick and all that. We discussed, and I did. He kind of encouraged me into politics, and I tried to find out from him because we had. Dick was a legend. There was so many stories about Dick then. He was reputed to have the keys to the River Niger at the time, and all he needed was to open the River Niger, and everywhere would be flooded. They say there was a witch that he encountered, and he put the witch inside a bottle and bottled it. So I asked him all these questions, as a young boy. I wanted to know the truth about this. At the end of the day, he gave me a copy of his autobiography, My Odyssey. He encouraged me to also read autobiography of other world leaders, and he did tell me that I should strive and be a leader and do not be shy to get involved in politics. So I guess Zik inspired me, to be
not your dad.
Meeting him. No, my dad was one of those who supports politicians. He wasn't really a frontline politician. He was a financier and all that. But I have run severally. I've lost many more times than I have won elections. So I guess it's something that I'm committed to. Yes.
No, sir. In few years, you were the Speaker, House of Assembly in your state. And you were able to do what a lot of people could not do. What is that thing that inspired you to achieve all that?
Well, thank you for saying that. First time somebody is giving me that kind of compliment, because it's very difficult to be complimented when you're in office. However, I would say we try to do our best, and the truth is this: I went into politics not because I didn't have a job. At the time I went into politics, I had businesses. I built my first factory when I was 25 years old. It was a polyurethane foam factory. I built a food company. Before I was 25, I owned a food company.
Wow.
I also built my hotel in Abia State, which is an 86-room hotel, which opened in 1997. So these are some of the things. I wasn't looking for business. I wasn't looking for work. It's something that I believe in. It's a passion that I have to serve. I've always wanted to contribute my little quota to the development of people. And from the time I came back to Nigeria, I lived, completely all my time in the southeast between Owerri and Umuahia. So I've lived among my people. I know what they need. I know what. There's no part of Imo State today that I do not know. There's no part of my zone that I do not know. I believe that people who have such understanding, and I had a liberal arts education in America, which is quite robust, giving you insight into almost every aspect of life. So for me, it's an opportunity to impact on my immediate environment. So when I became a speaker, I was already part of the society. So I didn't need to be told what was needed. I didn't need to be told what was important, because whether we like it or not, in this country today, we're still trying to provide the basic necessities of life for our people, and we have not been able to achieve that. We don't need a PhD to know that all we need to provide in this country are those basic necessities: food, shelter, and then health, and of course, guarantee of security. So those are the things that have actually, I've actually thrived and worked towards achieving all the time that I've been in office. Yes.
Now, so in 2016, you were declared the winner of Imo North Senatorial. What have you been doing for your people since then?
Well, it took quite some time to come to the Senate. It was a struggle to get in here, and by the time I came in, the budget of 2016 was already far gone. The 2017 budget was already in progress, and the president submitted the budget here in October, just less than a month after, about a month after I had assumed office, So, however, I have also, within the last less than 1 year that I've been here, been able to, focus, on youth empowerment through agriculture. We've identified that in my senatorial district, which is made up of about 6 local governments, that we have over 12,000 hectares of land, arable land, which has not been under cultivation because, we come from the rainforest, and most of these areas are overgrown with large trees, which requires a lot of money to be able to pull them down, and and then unfortunately our farmers have not been assisted by government, to exercise this cultivation. Because you see, what we usually see in the southeast is, instead of seeing people who are farming large expanse of land, maybe a farmer who is only able to eke out 1 plot of land or 2 plots of land will just be farming there, because they don't have the capacity to bring down these trees. In fact, some of this land I'm talking about today have never been cultivated, maybe since creation of Adam. So what we're doing currently is that I mobilize resources, personal resources, to start, clearing this land, to make them available to our farmers on a contract farming program, to begin to cultivate in agriculture. So we are hoping that by the time we clear most of it, in the first phase we are targeting 2,400 hectares.
Okay.
And we want to get our youth and our women to be involved in agriculture. We've provided equipment for clearing. We are providing tractors. We are providing extension officers who would help them, and indeed we're also going to train them in certain applications. We are also going to set up processing facilities like cassava processing factory. We're going to build oil mills. We're going to build rice mills. That is already in progress. And we're hoping that some of these processing factories can take the products that are going to come from not only these farms that we are developing, but other ones that people are also developing. In the area of aquaculture, you are aware that Nigeria produces less than 2.5 million tons of fish, while we need about 7 million tons every year. So there's a gap of about 5 million tons that requires to be supplied, and we are now in the process of training and mobilizing about 200 youths, and we're going to build fish ponds for these 200 youths.
That's nice.
Not only that, we're going to build, the cost of building and equipping it, including fish and feed for the duration of their production lifespan, will be supplied to these young people.
Young generation.
And at the end of production, we shall offtake, that is to buy up whatever products that they have produced in order to make funds available to them. We'll buy it at the ongoing market rate. We want to see how we can, in a year, do 2 cycles, produce like 200 this cycle, 200 next cycle. We believe that if we are able to achieve, even if it's 500 or 400 fish farmers in the next 2 years that have become quite proficient in fish farming and maybe are able to eke out a living, meaningful living, producing in agriculture in our rural area, that people, younger ones, can see, can be mentored by, they can find out that you don't need to go and live in a city in order to eke out a living. So we want to show an alternative to our people that you can also make money from agriculture, that even the young people, because if we engage them, then we can put them away from, crime, kidnapping, drugs, and all that is affecting our youth today in the society. So this is what we're doing, and we believe that before Christmas this year, most of these things will have come into place. We also have a program where we want to empower market women. We have 64 wards, and we want to reach out to about 50 market women in each ward, and we want to give them like 25,000 naira each. We're looking at those who sell tomatoes, who sell, groundnuts, who fry akara. These are the people that 20,000 to 25,000 naira will make sense. And we believe that such funds will stabilize them and then, give them the capacity to grow. I did a lot of that when I was speaker, and I saw the impact it made in the society, and I believe that is something we should continue. We're also registering a microfinance institute that will help reach out to a lot of cooperative societies within my zone, to help, source funds for startups. We are partnering with Central Bank to do some training and, capacity building for young graduates, in my zone. We are looking at the first phase is 600 youths who will be trained for 6 months. We are paying all the training costs and all that for the 600 youths for training. And after that, Central Bank will in turn assist them to raise between 5 million to 15 million naira to either invest in their existing businesses or to start fresh business. We are constantly running, we have a partnership with Google now to train young men, 200 per local government on IT platform using their even their smartphones. All you need to do is qualify, is to be educated, that you can use a smartphone, you own a smartphone, you can come in for training. Google will bring in the trainers, and at the end of the day, they will be issued with Google certificates for that training. That should take place in the second week of September.
Wow.
These are programs that we have. A lot more are on board, but can't really finish that in one interview.
Senator Ben is a humanitarian, a philanthropist, a man with a large heart, a compassionate man, and a devout Christian. He has won several awards, among them is Industrialist of the Year 2000 award by the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, the Best Speaker Nigeria Award Fellow Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, the Paul Harris Fellow Award by the Rotary Club International Enugu, and many others. Right Honorable Ben has also received over 20 chieftaincy titles across Igbo land. He is married to his delectable wife, Ellen, and they are blessed with 3 children.
Now, sir, let's forget about politics. Let's talk about how you relax when you're tired and you want to relax. How do you relax?
Well, I relax. Yes, I do once in a while. I read a good book. I like magazines. Of course, I get to sleep. That's
part of relaxing.
However, I'm still one of those that believe that you never get too old to once in a while, go to a lounge or go to a club and let your head down and all of that. I like staying out with friends and then, hanging out and talking about politics and social issues. So I travel. I like when I'm outside Nigeria, you won't find me in malls shopping. You probably will find me in museums and in the places of interest where I go to catch up on those things. Yes.
Before we leave, I want you to say one of your words to the youth out there and also those who have the same profile with you and they probably refuse to do 1 or 2 things now. With the little you have, God has blessed you, you're able to give back to the society. I want you to advise some of our leaders out there through this forum and also advise the youth who think success just come up by when you wake up and, oh wow, that's money.
Well, my advice to youths all over the world, indeed, especially in Africa and in Nigeria, is that you determine for yourself where you want to be. Nobody in life can determine for you where you want to be. It doesn't matter whether you started from the top or you started from the bottom. It is where you want to be that you end up being. I have seen people that have come from top, go down, and end up in the gutters. People, of course, have come from the gutters and gone up to the highest levels. You know, it is you that is the individual that must, sit up and say, this is what I want. You can never go wrong by hard work. Hard work is the only way that they can be sure that you can, be productive and be meaningful, live a meaningful life and be able to succeed. You must use your time well. You must understand that at every point in time, there's a time for everything. There's a time to play, there's a time to work, there's a time to be young, there's a time to be old, and there's a time to even get very old that, that at that time you are no longer productive. So now that you're young, it's the best time for you to conquer new space. I keep asking, especially young Nigerian guys, I remember in the 70s, when our parents, especially those of us who were born in the Southeast, and our parents were given 20 pounds, no matter how much money you had in your bank. And within 2 years, a lot of our parents were building houses, with that 20 pounds, and the Southeast recovered, seriously from that civil war. And it all because of the determination and the hard work of the men of those days. So we need to rediscover those things that our parents did. It's very, very important for us as youth. So, and even if you try and you fail, you have to keep trying. I didn't win in one day. It took me a long time to get to where I am. When I in business, my first business crashed, my second business crashed. I built a factory, it got burnt. I kept on plowing through. I didn't accept defeat for one day. In politics, I ran for election my first election in 1990. I got it. 1992, I ran. I was disqualified. I ran in 2003. 2007, 2011, and I'm here today. So nothing comes easy. It is your determination. Look at our president. He ran for the presidency 3 times, but he believed and he kept on running. Today he's the president of Nigeria. So I believe that our youth should learn to persevere and to be determined and to work hard. I believe if once they're able to imbibe that, they will be successful. Well, my advice to our leaders is that God has placed us all in a position to be who we are because of a reason. And when we are given a position and we are unable to carry out the responsibilities that God has given us, then, we fail God. You understand? That means that what we have been given, we have not shown, what we are incapable of the positions that God has given us. And, it's so unfortunate that our leaders are the same people that end up, in this country especially, in Nigeria, you find that it is our leadership that ends up breaking all the rules and all the laws that we make by ourselves. We end up ridiculing the very offices that we occupy. And we are not able to mentor the youth because what we do in our private lives, in our official lives, gives the wrong image to the younger ones who believe that that is the way to go. So my advice is that people should learn to mentor others. Let us learn that you cannot be a permanent secretary, you cannot be a governor, you cannot be a minister, you cannot be a senator and be the richest man in your society. By stealing so much money and buying houses and buying so many cars and all those who their parents acquired so much money in the 60s and the 70s, 80s and 90s, today others are buying those properties from their children, and it doesn't get them anywhere. Your children will be who they are by their own dint of hard work and the name you leave behind, and not by how much money that you have left behind. So we should strive to leave a legacy and a goodwill. I think that is what I benefited from, the goodwill that my father left. I can say that 60% of what I am today is because of the name that my father left behind, and not by what I have tried to achieve by myself. I believe also that my children will leverage on the name that I leave behind, and that is what the legacy is all about.
Thank you very much, sir. So we're so grateful for you honoring our invitation to be on the gala. We say a big thank you to you, and we just have to call it a day. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, my beloved, for being part of today's program. If you want to be part of our program, why don't you follow us on our social media handle? I still remain your host, Mercy Alexander. Bye and have a wonderful week.